a guy more our speed, as the official has gravitated towards this type of receiver frequently over the last few years. They just seem this type of guy, Vernell Brown, 5'10 and a half, 173 pounds right now. Currently ranked as the wide receiver 6 on 3 and the 35th wide receiver overall. But he's like that smaller dude who's just absolutely electric with the ball in his hands. He does have some pretty small measurables. It's not just height. He also has 29-inch arm, 9-inch hand, which isn't 9-inch hand ain't too bad, and a 73-inch wing. So just a little bit over 6 feet of the wings. That's not too bad either, but not. He's still smallish in size. He goes to Jones, which has the 21st ranked team in Florida, 74th nationally, so they're a pretty good team. 50 power ranking and 35 strength of schedule, so good competition there for Vernell Brown. He is a Florida legacy. His dad played defensive back for the Gators, but currently a strong lean per on 3 to Ohio State. Uncommitted. And here's where we get into the eye test versus the metrics and all this. So he's a 38th percentile athlete. He plays 3 sports, but we just don't have a whole lot of measurements on Vernell Brown III. Really nice production, 70 for 1,363 yards, just a shade under 20 yards per reception and 10 touchdowns last year. He also added 3 punt return TDs and a kickoff return TD. So personally, love to see that special team stuff. I think this guy could be a punt returner as a freshman. I mean, he is truly incredible. Once he gets the ball in his hands, you'll see here on these clips, he's just devastating in the open field. He also shows a little bit of, some play strength and power, even though, like we said, he's kind of a small guy. He's breaking tackles. I think you can see here, this is one of his punt returns where, there are guys getting hands on him as they fly down the field, and he's just kind of busting right through there, and then looks like he's going to go untouched. Punter, I think, got a hand on him, but we're not going to even count that as broken tackle. But yeah, I mean, he's sensational. Really impressive movement. I do think in college he's probably going to be limited to mostly a slot receiver. In high school, he did play some outside, but given the measurements, that's a great laying out catch right there. He definitely shows some hands. And then most recently, really has looked good on the camp circuit. Been uncoverable in some instances. He's high pointing the ball right there in that clip. So, he may be primarily a slot receiver, but I think he shows some skill sets that is not just limited to kind of a low to the ground slot guy. Like, he can high point the ball. He does show some ball skills. His route running is going to be good at any level. I'm pretty excited about Vernell Brown. The only thing I would say, and I'm curious to throw it to you guys for your thoughts on this, is it just me, or like Ohio State has had this incredible run of receivers, but it's not really this type, right? Marvin Harrison, big outside X. Olave, kind of a Y deep threat, but he's really, really good at it, and I think is maturing into a full-blown wide receiver. You've got Jeremiah Smith, outside X. You've got I'm blanking. Garrett Wilson, outside X for the most part, kind of plays all the positions, but not this smaller slot-ish type guy. So what are your thoughts on if he does go to Ohio State? That offense just doesn't seem to feature this type. Am I reading too much into it? I'll throw it to David. What do you think of Vernell Brown III and the fit at Ohio State?
Yeah, I suppose not. I mean, they don't have a lot of guys with that body type, I guess. Like JSN was bigger. A lot of like the guys they've used in the slot, it seems like, have been bigger body types, like Emeka Buka also. So it's just, I guess in that regard, I mean, he's good though. So I honestly think might end up I think he's going to end up at Florida. I don't know. We'll see. I guess he recently visited Ohio State and maybe they have the momentum, but just given his dad played there and all that and all the connections to Florida. And I kind of wrote down, he gave me some Eugene Wilson vibes a little bit. I can kind of see him as mostly like a short to intermediate type stuff. Maybe he develops more as he gets like stronger and everything, and does some work on the outside as well, and get some deep stuff. Maybe he can expand on his game. But yeah, I mean, these are the type of guys we're kind of gravitating towards, guys that are super quick and can get easy separation. And I know it's just like he is small, but I don't know. I thought he was pretty strong for his size too. So it's like, yeah, as far as like his athleticism too, we just gonna need more markers. He actually had the highest vertical jump at the OT7, I think it was 35 and a half inch vertical. And it wasn't a jump pad either. It was like where they jump up and hit those little things that fling around. Can't think of words right now, but anyways,
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, he's an explosive dude. So I think he'll end up coming out as like a pretty good athlete in the model too. So yeah, I'm a fan in general.
Yeah, I like him. You have a nugget here on the show sheet, though. I think we should let everyone know. So just there is a short list of guys who have less than 30-inch arms that play predominantly on the outside in the NFL. You've listed nice research here, by the way. Zay Flowers, Santana Moss, Deshaun Jackson, and all those guys. Well, not Flowers, but certainly Moss, Jackson, field stretching, elite speed guys. Zay Flowers is just really good. But he is kind of an aberration in terms of not the typical type of receiver. That's just history. We don't know. Every guy's a unique case, but history says, this body type is going to be more slot, but his skill set works in the slot. Matt, you like him. I think you've mentioned Eugene Wilson comps to me as well. David mentioned that, but you like him even better.
Yeah, I think the Eugene Wilson comp is pretty apt. I mean, very similar size, movers. I do think where he kind of stands out from him, though, is his ball skills, which is something I thought Eugene was pretty lacking, and I think he does pretty well in that area, actually. Pretty physical and aggressive going after the ball for a player his size, especially. He's definitely in the conversation for a top 5 wide receiver for me right now, to be honest. He's just the movements there separate. It seems like an easy hit to me. I'm not too worried about the Ohio State thing. I mean, worst case scenario, he does transfer out. He can go be a wide receiver 1 somewhere else. And in regards to your question, obviously they haven't really had someone exactly his size, but Garrett Wilson also played in the slot certain points at Ohio State, and obviously JSN, the slot there can be extremely productive in that offense. So I'm not really too concerned if he does land there. And if anything, they're kind of lacking the slot right now. So Ibuka does kind of rotate in there too, but
he'll be gone. I mean, Ibuka will be gone by the time Vernell gets the kid.
True, yeah. So it wouldn't even matter. But yeah, I do think there's a lot to like. Probably not wide receiver 1 at the NFL level, though. Something to keep in mind. Just not the skill set typically, but can still be a very, very good player.
Yeah, I could definitely see Vernell Brown being like real good in college, like kind of explosive production. And then people get really excited and maybe overdraft once he goes to the NFL. That doesn't mean he'll be bad in the NFL, but I agree, probably not wide receiver 1 type numbers, but I think can still be very good. I mean, the skill set's fantastic. And we'll see what Eugene Wilson does this year. He had a really nice freshman year. He was one of the best players on campus immediately upon getting to Gainesville and had a nice freshman year. But will he build on that? Will we see almost, exponential level production from him? Will be interesting to look at Vernell Brown through that lens when we see what Wilson does as a sophomore. So certainly an exciting guy.